What's up, fam? Dr. O here, and I just got one little question I want to ask. Can you please stop lumping in Latino men with black men as it relates to this election? I am so tired of people hearing or saying Trump made great strides with black men and Latino men. It's nonsense. It is not true. First of all, Latinos are not a monolith, and black men are not a monolith. So why are you putting us all together in one group just as it is? But having said that, can we talk factually that Biden won black Latino men and then they broke 55% for Trump? 55%. Black male support for Trump increased by 2% between 2020 and 2024. We, as predicted by those who actually know some things about how black people vote, knew that black men were going to be number two for the Democrats behind black women. We told y'all that. We said you need to have more panels about how white women are not going to show up because they never have. You can have the panels about white men and so on and so forth. Y'all wouldn't do that. Y'all just had to go up in the barbershop, and get the brother with the clippers and all that and say, what do you think about the election? Like that's what y'all did. Kept going, kept finding the Charlemagnes of the world, putting them on, even though Charlemagne said himself, I am not a black leader, but you kept platforming him to have these conversations about that because you don't respect our intellect in many different ways. And then you just say, you just lump us in. It shows how much you don't respect us to just throw us in like that. I mean, within the Latino community, you got white Latinos, black Latinos, all these different types of groups. Some people say that, like myself, say they're next in line to be white, so it makes sense that they would, break for Trump because in this country, people are always getting permission to be allowed into whiteness with, first, other groups, Irish, Italians, Germans, so on and so forth. And many of them feel that they're up next. And part of your initiation into whiteness is your ability to be able to crap on black people. Look in California, we got lawsuits with black workers against Latino workers for discrimination. This is not new to us. So why y'all are on these news networks saying that we are the people that let Kamala down? Fact of the matter is, yes, I feel like the 21, at least from the NBC exit poll, that that 21% for Trump, that's way too much for me. Anything over zero is too much for me. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're happy with it, but y'all acting like this is something to blame on black men, and it's not. But y'all don't care. There's so many conversations that need to be had about Latino men breaking 55% for Trump, but y'all just want to throw us into the same boat. I think Latino men deserve better. I think it's a whole nother conversation that needs to happen. We did not go for Trump in historic numbers. Black men didn't turn. Kamala didn't lose the election because of the black male vote. Both Latino men and black men are like 5 and 6% of the electorate. But because we want to avoid whiteness, because as Glenn Singleton said, it's not the only factor but the missing factor, because y'all don't want to talk about that, because you want to continually excuse away whiteness and say other things like, no, it's not racism, people just can't afford eggs. No, it's not misogyny, people just want to be able to take their kids to Disneyland. All of this idea, like they just looked at Trump as the person who's going to help them get ahead. But y'all don't have the other part. Get ahead by putting other people down, by denying other people the opportunity to get ahead. Y'all going to talk about the fact that now Trump's going to be building private prisons that are going to be primarily near the hoods in these cities? Going to have that conversation? People say, people just voted for Trump because he was authentic. Yeah, he was authentic. Authentically, why don't you add the rest of it? Authentically racist. It's like when people say the Civil War wasn't about, this or that. It was about states' rights. Yeah, states' rights over slavery. Just like complete the freaking sentence. It's like it's not that hard to do. The ability to deny what is real about this country is the problem. Professor Eddie Glaude was talking about how it's not that a lot of the problems we experience in America are unique. It's just that the inability of America to acknowledge them is the problem. Other countries deal with their people who are committing genocide or doing other different types of things, right? But in this country, we want to excuse everything away. Slave masters got reparations when their slave people were free. People got to keep land. Civil rights movement, a lot of these guys didn't go to jail. People doing all of this work. Bomb Black Wall Street in the 20s and all these other areas of the country where all these race riots happen. Nobody goes to prison. Nobody goes to jail. All of those guys who are in prison right now and for the insurrection about to be let out. America's ability to keep excusing whiteness for its behaviors and its crimes and its violations against humanity is why we are here today. And until people are ready to have an honest and real conversation about that, y'all just gonna keep scapegoating us. Y'all gonna keep finding the smallest groups to blame. You're blaming trans folks. It's like 29 trans people who are in like prison or something like that. You're blaming them. Gotta blame them. People who are Palestinian and or pro-Palestinian, in Michigan and so on and so forth. Gotta blame them. Black women used to always being blamed, right? So there's just that. Until y'all want to start pointing the finger at the people who are 70% of the electorate and actually look at the fact that, which is a question that's never polled, are you voting for Trump because he's white? Like, they ain't no one ever going to ask that question. Are you voting for him because he's a man? People aren't going to ask, but until people start really trying to confront that, y'all just going to keep scapegoating the folks who are at the bottom. Well, y'all about to find out that misery does not love company, or maybe some people do love the company. They want to come see how it is for the rest of us down here as it relates to dealing with this racism and ignorance. But really, at the end of the day, if y'all just gonna throw in, oh, she lost because of woke politics because you don't understand our communities. She lost because of identity politics when Trump ran on whiteness and manhood. Anybody else who ran on that, tried to run on what he ran on combined, lost. Mark Robinson tried to do it, gone. Carrie Lake tried to do it, gone. And y'all don't want to talk about that. James Carville, oh, she didn't run on identity politics. Come on now. So y'all gonna let this man run on identity politics, tease people with this idea that they can get closer to whiteness as well, not recognize that Kamala couldn't even run on identity politics, and then pick two identities to blame that broke for Trump, Black and Latino men, and say, this is the problem. What in the world do you think you are doing? And what do you think you are doing and thinking that we're not going to see the BS? Come on now, this is real talk. So I talk about this in my book here, Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racist Stereotypes and Why It Matters. I got a chapter that deals with this disconnect between many Latino and Black people. And to be clear, I know a lot of Latino people, some darker than me, some my complexion, some lighter than me, who are down with the cause, who are down with the movement, who are down for the work. This ain't about y'all, and you know it. Y'all know that love is real. For real, for real. I'm talking about the other folks. And we got work to do in our own communities. That's real talk. But y'all pundits out there, can y'all at least try to have some type of credible research or conversations and stop lumping in a group that Trump grew support by 2% versus a group that went for him 55%? As Taraji said, the math ain't mathing, y'all. Come on. We deserve better. You gonna give us better? I had to say it, but I ain't holding my breath. I'm gonna go do some yoga. Peace.